What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Nehemiah, aka Neo, and today we're going to be talking about some of these games, but more so, I think the central focus of this video will actually be on the Los Angeles Clippers and whether or not they are a good team or not. That being said, we're just going to get there when we get there, and I'm just going to talk about some of these other games because, I can. That being said, I did not watch most of these games, at least to a very big extent. But I do know that De'Aaron Fox did get injured in this game, and that's why my boy Davion Mitchell did do what he did, and that's really good, man. I think that Davion Mitchell does have a really good spot on this roster, especially if he's getting more of these starter minutes. Nothing to say that Kevon Huerter doesn't deserve them, but I think that Davion Mitchell does help with a lot of the defensive issues that this team does have from time to time. And Domantas Sabonis is not really the best player on this team at this point, so I do really expect that Davion Mitchell is to get a little bit more runtime, especially if De'Aaron Fox's injury is something really bad. Also, trade my man Harrison Barnes. He's not on this. He should not be on this roster anymore, man. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this whole game, for at least for their side. PJ Washington is still going off. If a team other than the Charlotte Hornets were to grab him, man, it's gonna be nasty. They do actually have a little center that they have. I forgot what his name was, but once he's able to get more minutes than Mason Plumlee, I think it's actually I forgot his name, but once he's able to get more minutes than Mason Plumlee, once he's able to be to look more comfortable on the court, that's why I think that this team is gonna sail the ship, because this team is actually pretty good, even despite all the stuff that we said about them. Yeah, they may lose in the play-in, like always, but again, it's better to be in the play-in than to not, at least in my opinion, for that team. We're going to talk about this game for a little bit, but there's also another piece of news about the Milwaukee Bucks, and that's actually that Chris Middleton is coming back like really soon, because he's actually going to the G League. Yep, he's heading to the G League. I forgot who reported it, but essentially that means that he's pretty much a week away, if not like maybe even a little bit sooner. So that's something to really look at. Also, they are sending my man MarJon Beauchamp to the G League too, just to get some reps in. Hopefully he's able to look a lot better when he's in the G League, just to develop a little bit more, and once he's able to come back and show some of the strength that he has in terms of the on-court stuff. That's when I do think that this team could get a little bit dangerous, because this team does really need a wing. Yeah, they have a guy like Middleton, of course, but after that, it's really just Wes Matthews, who's 6'4", 6'3", and Javon Carter, who's again like 6'4", 6'3". Grayson Allen should not be a forward, and that we don't need to talk about that. And their other wing is Jordan Nwora, but Jordan Nwora is not that good at this point, at least not for this team. Other than that, I do think that this team does have at least a decent amount to go for it, especially because Giannis is just Giannis, and overall, Jrue Holiday did have a monster game. And I do think that this team does have what it takes to really be undefeated for another couple of games. Let me look at the record, or not the record, but their schedule again, because they may play like a decent team like really soon. They've played a couple like nice teams, but they haven't played like a contender. Besides maybe the Philadelphia 76ers, ever since they actually got their wheels to kind of roll. Hold on, it's gonna take a minute. Yeah, they do play the Wolves. They play the Atlanta Hawks again, and these two teams. I do expect one of these to probably be one of their first losses. But once Middleton comes back around like this time, I think that this team is probably going to take off even more. And if they're able to get a decent person from the trade, they're looking at Jay Crowder, and while I would say that Jay Crowder isn't the best fit for this team, especially because he's not the best three-point shooter, and I know what y'all are thinking, oh, Jay Crowder shot like a really good percentage from three. He does shoot a really good percentage from three, but it's not really all that. Like, this is like these are the only 2 years where he shot like above 35-36% in recent memory. Like, this is another year where he shot like above 35%, but like outside of these two like kind of seasons, he's just not been shooting the best, and we just got to call it how it is, man. I don't think that Jay Crowder is necessarily the best 3-and-D player that you could have. He doesn't even play that good defense for you to really just do that. So in my opinion, I think that this team really just needs to look at more of a or I would say that they just need to develop Marshawn Buchanan, but that's just my opinion. Detroit Pistons, Kate Cunningham is still a dog. Bojan Bogdanovic is actually still a dog. He's actually putting up some really good numbers, and he actually signed a contract extension recently, so that's pretty cool. I'm not sure if he's gonna stay on this team because he's like 30 something, but if he does, I think he'll provide really good spark minutes. Also, I think that Killian Hayes' time on this roster may be kind of over, but maybe that's just my opinion. We don't know. But besides that, that's pretty much it for the Pistons. We'll save that for last. The Brooklyn Nets actually almost blew this game, and I'm probably gonna have a short about this right now, but I do remember that this dude Steve Nash did get fired today, so that's pretty cool. Well, that's not pretty cool, but that's something to at least look at. But look at this game. Chris Duarte, of course, he's a dog. Same with Tyrese Halliburton. He actually played better against their the first game against the Nets, but still something really good to look at. Benedict is actually going crazy. I've never met someone named after an egg go this crazy in basketball before. I don't know. He's averaging like 27 points off the bench. Like, bro, put him in the starting roster at this point, bro. Especially because they should just trade Buddy Hield at this point, and maybe Miles Turner. But Miles Turner, I'm not sure how good you could really get off of his contract because I don't think he's really that good. At least not as good as a lot of people put him out to be. People think that he's like this all-star, sub-all-star level player. I think that he's just like a really, really good role player, but that's pretty much it for me. I don't really think that he's like all that. This whole roster though, this is actually their first game they played without Ben Simmons, and it looked pretty fine on offense. In my opinion, I think that the whole thing between Ben Simmons is that he should be good on this roster if Nicholas Claxton isn't there. That, and he needs like a lot of improved kind of mentality. Like, he needs a mentality of scoring a lot more, and he needs probably a better way to. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I just said something else, but I think that he needs a better mentality of scoring, and he just needs to like find better like offensive sense to really just get him into his groove. Because his best game on the Brooklyn Nets was a 9, 9, and 8 game. Like, come on, bro. You just got to be better than that. Philly has gotten their third win in a row, actually. They are starting to take off, actually. In my opinion, this team still does need a little bit more of their depth to really shine. But again, they have been doing decent recently, you know. 12 from George Niang, 2 from House, 7 from Trez, and I guess 1 from. You know what? You'll take the 22 points, bro. You're gonna take the 22 points because pretty much most of these guys can take like really, really good shots and make them. The other email gets a start because I think what's his name? Joel Embiid was out this game, and that's the reason why PJ Tucker's at the 5. He actually played a really, really good game, and yeah, I think that this team just does have a lot of talent on it, at least on the forefront. You know, James Harden is not getting 7 assists out of nowhere, you know, or 17 assists out of nowhere. So yeah. The Washington Wizards are also a really good team. That being said, I'm not sure how they're gonna go with their whole like season. I really don't know what the direction is, but Kuz is also like a decent. He's not young. He's like 27, but he's a decent talent right now. Monte Morris and Will Barton have actually been pretty solid on this team, especially Monte Morris. I think he's like shooting like some crazy from 3 right now. I forgot what he's shooting, but he's shooting like 80 something %, and it's like very, very weird. Okay, now he's not shooting. He's shooting like 87% from like catch and shoot threes. That's what it was. Shooting something crazy from there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But today we're gonna be talking about the Los Angeles Clippers a lot more in depth. Probably gonna spend the last like 4 or 5 minutes on pretty much the Los Angeles Clippers as a whole. I'll talk about the Rockets a little bit right now. Eric Gordon probably needs to get traded. Well, no. His contract is horrible, actually. His contract is like nasty. You know, Jabari Smith is still having really bad field issues. Same with Jalen Green. Kenyon Martin is actually doing some work. Oh my god, I didn't notice that. But yeah, this team almost pulled off the win against the Clippers, and they were looking like they were dominating for pretty much like the last part of the quarter. So yeah. But going on to the Los Angeles Clippers, man, if you would ask me what the biggest disappointment, at least for me, was, I already knew that the Golden State Warriors or I didn't know that they were gonna take a down year necessarily, but I didn't expect them to be like one of the best teams in the NBA, at least from the forefront. Right now, they both are tied, but if you were to ask me, again, it would definitely be the Los Angeles Clippers, as the Philadelphia 76ers are actually winning a lot more than I would have gave them credit for. At least recently, there's not really that much like bad teams in the standing for the East, except for like these two. And even then, I was expecting one of these two to be like kind of and the other one to be like But like definitely the Los Angeles Clippers, I expected them to be a lot better, at least in the forefront. Even a team like the Denver Nuggets, I also did expect to be a little bit better on the forefront. But the thing with the Los Angeles Clippers is that all of what I've said about this team has not panned out in the slightest, man. Like everything I've said about this team, everything I gave them credit for, I was like, okay, this team may be one of the best offenses in the league. No, they're not. In fact, they've actually overtaken the Lakers as the worst offensive in the league. Like, how does that happen? How does that happen? Rocco is like out right now. John Wall hasn't been playing he's been playing really good actually. Where is he? Yeah, he's right here. He's not averaging the most assists, but I do expect him to really take on the starter role as he gets more comfortable in the roster. That and when he's like completely healthy, because he's actually averaging really solid from 2-point. Like not even just solid. He's averaging really good points from the 2-point range, and I expect him to really be back. I think he's actually back, man. I really do think he's back. But more so about this whole other roster, man. Like look at these guys, like Zubac. Well, not Zubac. Zubac is doing what he can, man. Luke Kennard isn't putting up the most points that you really want him to. Where's the other guy at? Hold on. Norman Powell is putting up some dog numbers, man. He's not doing the best. Kawhi, of course, he's actually having a setback right now, and that's really concerning, man. Like this team is not going to be a contender if Kawhi's not, 100% healthy. And I've said this before. Like I'm expecting Kawhi to be 2019, 2021 Kawhi. If he's not 2021 Kawhi, bro, scrap everything I said about the Clippers, bro. They're not probably gonna make out the second round. But even then, I do think that their depth is just not like they're not given, bro. They're not. Terrence Mann is given, but he's not given enough minutes. Even a guy like Paul George is having a really, really slow start to the season, and this is after his like monster game. He had a monster game this game, and he's still not doing enough. Like look at the stats from pretty much everyone outside of Paul George. Dog, like he's not doing enough. They're not doing enough. Paul George has to put up 26 points, and this is without John Wall and Kawhi Leonard. I'm giving them 20 more games, man, because from what I'm seeing from this roster, man, I don't really expect much. That being said, I hope Kawhi does play against the Cleveland Cavaliers, because I'm going to that game. And if he doesn't play, man, I'm actually going to be really disappointed. Not only that, but if he doesn't play, then I'm probably going to hold out on a lot of more tickets from them, because I'm actually waiting to see if they're going to be good to really buy a really, really luxurious seat in their game against the Milwaukee Bucks. But that's enough of me flexing. Let me just check the time real quick. All right, I got one more minute. So essentially what I want to see from this roster is a lot more playmaking. 23 assists is actually really good, because Paul George did get 3. He got 8, and Reggie Jackson got 6 assists. That's actually really good for this roster, but like they don't really average that much assists. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, they average like some piss poor assist numbers for the last couple of years, actually. Yeah, 16. The year right now they're averaging 20 something, or they're averaging in the 26 out of the league. Yeah, 17. Like they're pretty much the worst in the league, at least in terms of the top contenders in terms of assists. And essentially they're not getting the most like buckets that they really want. I've said before, their 3-point attempt rate is not the best, and their 3-point percentage is actually horrible right now. Their 2-point percentage is actually pretty decent, but again, I don't know. But yeah, it's gonna be it for me. Nehemiah, aka Neo. Hopefully this offense is actually gonna be good, man, and I hope you guys are having a great one.